Hi, everyone.
We're going to be a little smoother than that, Liz.
Sorry.
Good afternoon. Welcome back.
Just saying hi, everybody.
We're live from Rabs here at Rabs Country Lanes. We were just telling Liz she needs to be a little bit more, our production assistant, Liz, needs to be a little bit more smoother with cutting the music.
Well, I don't want to cut the music, so.
I mean, your favorite. I mean, if anybody, I would hope that somebody in the audience might know what we were playing. We just don't want to get yelled at for copyright use, as we did yesterday. Well, welcome and thank you for joining us again. Day 3. It's day 6 for us here at Rabs. Since last Monday, we've closed the doors, and it's been a little tough, but here we are. We're hoping to brighten your day, as you have certainly helped brighten ours. Yesterday, we had Anthony, my brother Anthony, join us, and I think we all got a little laugh.
We definitely laughed. We definitely did.
So thank you, Anthony, for joining us yesterday. I know he's watching now. At least that's what this says. Whether he's paying attention or cooking in the kitchen or drinking.
Maybe he's learning TikTok.
He might be. So we did have a follow-up question from one of our viewers yesterday for Anthony. So we got the answer and we figured we'd share it. People know that he worked on One Life to Live and he had won several Emmys with his work there. But Nazareth mentioned that he was nominated for an acting Emmy.
Yes, he was.
Which most wouldn't have known and assumed it was from One Life to Live, which he was behind the scenes. And so no, he had an acting nomination from his work on Tainted Dreams with his friends, Sonia and team, and it's streaming on Amazon Prime. So go check it out.
Check that out. If you're fiending for some soap opera action, check it out. It's pretty good.
I know Kevin Rourke likes his daily soap operas.
Yes, so, he does. He wouldn't miss it.
He could tune in and catch the Tainted Dreams on Amazon Prime. I mean, if you're still looking for something new, you can go find it. And if we still have Anthony, we want to make sure you have an idea of what this TikTok is. So here's a little example for anybody that's watching. If you're not following us, we want you to follow us on TikTok at @RabS. And so here's one of our TikToks featuring our famous Harry. And of course, that's with comedian Terry Crews. So that's the type of stuff that you're going to see on TikTok. And Harry's having some fun with that. I mean, he washed his hands, so that's practicing.
Yes. And on the good side of us being closed for a while is that pretty much anything that might have been in the building, people excluded is dead. So if there was any virus left around, it's gone right now. So.
I mean, we'll certainly be much more prepared when we open the doors. We'll go through a vigorous cleaning anyway. I mean, yes. We're the only ones touching things. I mean, we're prepared here. Do you need a glove?
Thank you.
So if you joined us yesterday, you learned a little bit about the last 2 days. You learned a little bit about what's happening here. And so what we've learned so far, we've learned a lot.
This has been a learning experience for us. We came up with this idea to try to keep you entertained and keep us from going crazy. And we continue to learn. So
we learned that prior to today, we didn't practice good social distancing. So here we are today.
Yeah, we all look how far away we are from each other.
I mean, Nazareth, you can lay here, would probably be that
far
away.
All right. Enough with the short jokes.
We know our lighting is terrible. We've always known that when we take photographs in here, so we have to be creative. We're working on that, but we know our lighting isn't that great. But we also want you to realize there's nothing happening here. So it's a little part of the set design, but we know it's not the best. We learned yesterday that the TV has a mute button. So we're using the TV to help stream us. And so when our friend Jay Nephew was on, we couldn't hear him. You could hear him. Well, we couldn't hear him because the TV was muted. I mean,
we found that out right after we entered. So at least we know now, and that shouldn't happen again.
We're hoping it doesn't happen again.
And your comments on our watch parties sometimes don't appear in our general feed. So, we want you to comment. We want you to send in those questions. So keep them coming. Keep them coming. And if you're a guest and you happen to be here on a day when Joe Bruno is here interviewing people, be prepared to answer any possible question, including what your specs might be on your grip, because according to him, the bowling community wants to know these things.
Welcome back.
Hi. Go, Diane.
Welcome back. We had some technical difficulties. We've learned, so we're going to add to the list of things that we've learned.
Yes.
Copyright music's going to shut us out.
No music.
So we believe the music in the beginning and then sharing the TikTok locked us out. So we're back. We apologize. We're still figuring this one out. But I don't know what you've learned, what you've heard from us. But hey, thanks for tuning back.
Thanks for hanging in with us.
Thank you for your patience. When we zip this back to YouTube, we'll probably be able to piece it all together. But we believe the last thing that we got through our list of what we've learned so far, and I think that's important. We know the TV has a mute button. We now know we can't use copyrighted music. Lighting stinks. Social distancing, we're better at today.
We got something good.
And so we're getting there. So we appreciate you hanging in there with us. And so sadly, Nate, yes, I am controlling, and so maybe that's part of the problem of the feed. So we have two guests that are going to be joining us today. First, we've got our friend Diane Arneth, and we're going to bring her in, and she's the executive director of operations for Brightpoint Health and Community Health Action. So if we got this right, we're going to bring Diane. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Diane.
Hey, I lost you.
Oh, hang on a second. We've got you. We're getting you back in there. Solo off. We see you. You can't see us yet. No?
I see you.
He's trying to.
I'm figuring this out still. Aha. Yes.
Hey, Frank.
Hi, Diane.
Hi, Diane.
How are you?
Hey. Who's that with you, Frank? I need new glasses.
It's me, Nazareth.
Hey, Naz. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to be seen.
Thank you for joining us. So what you missed while you were trying to get in, we had some technical difficulties, as you heard, and so we're still figuring this thing out. But we thank you for joining us. This is day 3 of this insanity of what we call Live from Rabs, and day 6 of us being shut down here. So we really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us. So one, I have to ask, I know you're working, and so we have to say thank you to all of our healthcare workers. But 2, so Robert's at home, and so are you and your husband are killing each other yet, or what?
No, because he's at home and I'm. No, we're doing okay. Doing, as you can imagine, remote teaching of carpentry. What a challenge, right?
Ooh, yeah, that has to be a challenge. How does that work?
I don't know. He's figuring it out as he goes.
That sounds like fun, and I'm sure there's projects around the house that he's going to put his hands on.
I hope so. I gave him a list already.
The ever so popular honey-do list.
Oh yeah.
So what's going on over at Brightpoint and Chazzy right now?
So we have the Brightpoint Health Center, which is on Bay Street, right next to the post office, is still in operation. They're providing health care. Again, they're under new guidelines, and that they're not really doing well visits for people. And we're having people sort of put off their annual exams, but they are having people come in for both COVID-related symptoms, and they're asking people to come in the afternoon for that, and in the morning they're taking care of folks who have symptoms or who've developed any kind of healthcare difficulties that are non-respiratory related. So again, that's what they're trying to do, and they're moving and they're seeing people regularly, and that's what's happening at Brightpoint. At Community Health Action, we have 130 employees, and about 2/3 of our employees are now working remotely from home. That includes all of our administrative operations, but also our case managers, some of our domestic violence counselors, some of our other folks who are following up with people in the community that we work with, our HIV clients. And again, we're working with them for the most part telephonically, although we're working to provide them with emergency food as needed and making sure that they're getting their medications. But again, we can do most of this telephonically and remotely. However, as part of essential services, we still have a number of sites open. So our community food pantry at 2134 Richmond Terrace is open for its regular hours. And we saw about 2.5 times the number of people we generally see on a Saturday this past Saturday. So the need is growing for people for emergency food, and we're hoping to be able to step up to that challenge. Our mobile food pantry is also still out. So if you go to our Facebook page, the Chazzy Facebook page, you can see where we are on any given day distributing food in communities. We go to 18 different sites in Staten Island. And our 24-hour resource and recovery center at 56 Bay Street is also open. And it's still 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that is really the hub for a lot of the services that are crisis services for people. Have people who have substance use disorder who need help connecting to services can still walk in there. We're also serving as a hub for our domestic violence clients. They need emergency help that can't be provided telephonically. We have some of our DV counselors in there. We also have help for our patient navigation. And wow.
Today is one of those days. It's definitely one of those days.
Somebody back there, Frank?
They're okay. We're taking this time to do some work in the background. Jimmy and Michael and Arturo are rebuilding a counter behind the pizzeria, and they dropped everything. I think, but they seem to be okay. They're not. I don't think we need to be alarmed. Are you okay? Yes.
Right. Good to hear it. We don't want the pizzeria folks to get hurt. So again, we're looking at ways that we can support people. We actually do health insurance applications and food stamp applications. We can do those all remotely and electronically now and through the telephone. So we have numbers set up for people, and we know that with people losing employment, people are going to be looking for both emergency food stamps potentially and for health insurance coverage. And just as a information for all your listeners, New York State has opened up the health exchange again, meaning that people can get health insurance on the health insurance exchange. It was actually closed for the for the enrollment period, but they've reopened it because they know people are going to be needing that. We're looking for ways to be able to support people, also to apply for unemployment insurance, but it's impossible to get on the site at the moment. So we're looking at how we might be able to do that, because we do have computers on site there. So for people who may not have computers, it's an online process. Although I wouldn't recommend people trying to do it now, although we may open it up between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. Maybe you can get on the site at that point. Yeah. But we'll be looking at other ways that we can help our neighbors and our friends get through this.
That's awesome. So thank you for all the work that you do. And so for our viewers and for our bowlers that support our annual food drives, what you might not know is the donations support the Community Health Action Food Pantry to allow the work that Diane and the team do. So thank you to those who make sure that they drop off goods. This past holiday season, we were also asking for other hygiene products through our Rotaract Club, and they did a great job at delivering those too. So that's good stuff, and you hear it right from Diane that gets used at these times, especially.
Diane, you guys do so much in the community, so much good work, how is it handling your staff and keeping your staff morale up?
Well, so I have to say, I have incredibly dedicated and committed staff. the people who work here care deeply about our clients, about our communities, and they have really stepped up to the plate. I mean, we have some people who work in programs where they can't do what they normally do. People that do community outreach or community education, those programs are basically shut down, and they've been redeployed to the food pantry because they need extra hands over there. They've been redeployed to the 24-hour resource center, and really the staff has just said, I mean, of course, people are frightened, people are concerned, but our staff, by and large, have basically stepped up to the plate and say, "What can I do? I want to be more helpful. Can I do more?" And so, I mean, part of it is leading by example. So, our leaders also have shown up in amazing ways. We've been there, we've been on the front lines with the staff, and also communicating with them every day about what's going on. There's so much information out there, and it's scary, and some of it is not accurate, and some of it is not good, and some of it really frightens people. And so it's our job to sift through that. And sometimes I say to the staff, just turn off the damn TV.
Absolutely.
On this platform, excuse me. You know me, right? So we just say, turn off the TV, watch a funny movie, because this may feel like a 100-yard dash right now, but believe me, this is a marathon. We have to be, sort of pace ourselves and get ready for what's next and do everything that we can do to make sure that we flatten the curve of this infection and meet the needs of people as they emerge over this time.
And to that point, I always tell everybody to rely on your experts. So if I don't know something, I'm certainly going to ask. And so my friend Diane is always the one that's getting my questions because I know Jack when it comes to it. And so, Diane, I wanted to do one. I've been very good with my language the last couple of days. So you're the first one to drop the damn bomb.
Surprising, Frank.
Yeah, right. And I think our viewers know that too. That's okay. So, and Diane, you always take my questions, and you know so much, and you always say if you don't know something, get the right resource. And I think what the problem today is there's so much information out there, and nobody really knows who to listen to, what to listen to. And so, in your professional opinion, where should we be getting our information from? And who should we be listening to if it's not you?
Well, after obviously, people want general information about this. They should go to the CDC website. I mean, the CDC has, they're putting up, the Center for Disease Control is putting up the most accurate information. I would also, one of the people who's been a really good monitor of communication and putting stuff out there has been the governor. I mean, I have to say, he's done a very good job. Straight, really putting out there what's important and what we need to do. And I think, one of the things that is confusing people is we have different levels of government telling us different things. That's really frightening for people. So I think, I found that Governor Cuomo has been very level-headed, very straightforward, and also underscoring the seriousness of this. At the same time, one of the things that we're trying to do is actually make sure that we are putting out there also all the resources that are available, because as things close, there's not as many resources people need. And so we're actually every day, we're calling all of the different resources, making sure they're still open. So, some food pantries are closed, some of the smaller ones, soup kitchens are closed, and some are giving out bags. The Family Justice Center, which works with people with domestic violence, is closed, although they're still taking calls. And every day they're checking in with all of the providers to make sure that we're there for them. But, we're trying to keep tabs on what's available for people and what's out there.
Diane, we did have a couple of people ask, is there a place where people who wanted to donate could go? Maybe online, to make an online donation for the food pantries, or?
Sure, well, they can definitely go online. We are happy to take donations. As I told you, almost 3 times the number of people at our food pantry this Saturday than we usually have on a Saturday. So people are really in need. So for Community Health Action, we're at www.chasiny.org. And somewhere on the website there's a button that says donate. You have to find it. I think it should be on the front page, but we appreciate that. And again, we'll be sharing with people on our Facebook page as well if there's specific donations that we're looking for. We can always use food, but again, we don't want people going out and putting themselves at risk.
Yep.
And potentially and running around and collecting food from their neighbors or things like that. I mean, we truly appreciate the fact that RABs and other groups do these food drives for us, but that involves a lot of social interaction that maybe we don't want to encourage at the moment. Now, again, if there are groups that have a large amounts of food, either businesses that are closing or groups that have access to a large amount of food that they can donate, we are certainly open to that. That would be great. I mean, you can Facebook message us or call Frank. I don't know. Bring it to the bowling. No, just kidding. I'm not going to have them bring food to the bowling alley the way they brought clothes for Hurricane Sandy.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
That was amazing turnout of support, right? I do remember that parking lot filled with bags of clothes. But and thanks so much for doing this. I mean, it's so good to have people have their trusted friends in the community out there trying to get information out and be there for people in this electronic way, right? When we're all sort of hunkered down and wondering what to do next.
Yeah, it's certainly changing the way that we communicate and do things. The crazy part, our Rotary Club meets every Thursday night. And so this week we're going to be trying a Zoom meeting. We're going to try this just to check in on everybody together. So, and I know others are doing that. Schools are doing it, and it's and it kind of leads into the question that I think it lingers in all of us. So this goes on for how long it's going to go on for. How do we think that this changes social norms? And then how does Brightpoint and Community Health Action adapt for that? Right? I don't think we know, but is there, in your opinion, is this huge change? What could we foresee?
Well, one of the things, reflecting on is the fact that Staten Island always comes together in times of crisis in a way that's really remarkable and really speaks to deep values about caring about our community. But then it seems like sometimes that fades away, after a few months, years, and then we're back to flipping people the bird when we're throwing our McDonald's bag out the window onto the street, and not necessarily being kind and loving to our friends and neighbors. So, one of the things you hope is that when people pull together in a crisis like that they actually continue to bring that loving kindness forward and into our every conversation and our everyday lives, because there's been a tremendous amount of negativity in the country over the last couple of years that, to me is unprecedented and really speaks to the fact that we will never survive as a species if we keep doing this us and them stuff all the time, right? And if we don't remember that at the root of all this, our humanity, our obligation to the earth as our mother and our nurturer and everything that's on it, we need to take care of it, and we need to take care of each other.
I couldn't echo that more. And we talk about how this bowling center is a community within itself. And so when things happen, and you mentioned it before, Hurricane Sandy, people come together. And we're already seeing that with our folks. Our folks have been reaching out. Hey, is there anything that we can do for you? And we appreciate everything that people reach out. But don't worry, after we get through this, there are plenty of things that we can all work on together.
Yeah.
So Diane, you talk about the fruits of our world. Share with us, your recent hobby. And so,
It's a hobby now, Frank.
I don't know what you want to call it. It's your studies, your hobby. I think it's awesome. We talk about it all the time.
Your studies.
Your recent studies. Stuff.
So Frank is referring to the fact that after 67 years being in doing the things that I've been doing, and I decided, well, actually, no, after 66 years, because I went last year, I decided that I wanted to go back to serious study of herbal medicine. So, I started last year, a year ago, September, and now I'm 1.5 years into it. I'm studying at a school that's in Brooklyn, the Arbor Vitae School of Traditional Herbalism, which is a rigorous program of trying to understand how plants can help nurture, support, and heal us as human beings. Actually, they also nurture, help, and support the rest of the earth and other animals and other plants. But so I've been studying this for about 1.5 years, and I'm behind in my homework. I'm sad to say, because I'm one of those type A type students who's never would do that, but given the work, I'm behind in my homework. So I'm just saying that publicly. So, and I haven't been able to pay as much attention to it as I want to, but that's part of my thoughts about the next phase of what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing those studies and applying that as I can best. Right now I'm practicing on my friends and family, much to their chagrin, but it'll spread out a little more after
that. So and they're still standing, right?
Yes, as far as I know, all of them are still standing. And
well, that's certainly good to know. Hey, maybe there's something there for COVID-19 that we just don't know yet.
Well, you know what? The plants have been our healers for thousands and thousands of years, so I'm sure they have something up their sleeve.
I'm sure they do.
Yep. Yeah. Good.
So, is there anything you want to share anything else you'd like to share on behalf of Community Health Action and Brightpoint while we have you before we let you go back to work?
No, I want to thank you, Frank and Naz, for doing this. I know RABS is a community the same way that Community Health Action is a community. And in these times of troubles, we pull together, we do what we need to do, and we actually, work with one another to heal the community and keep it whole. So thanks so much to you guys, and hopefully we'll talk again soon, and maybe even in person someday.
That would be nice. Would be nice.
Sending hugs, high fives, kisses. And thank you, and really thank you for all that you do. I think that goes. It doesn't get seen, and we really do appreciate all that you do for our community. So thank you. Go back to work. Go back to healing people and doing what you need to do.
I'm going.
We'll see you soon.
Bye, Diane.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
What's his name? Said he couldn't get on.
Yeah, he's telling me that now.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome. To get that information from someone that we trust and that we know, and to know that they're really doing some good work. So.
There were so many things that are available for Staten Island residents, whether they need help with food or access to information, just helping get through life. That Chazzy is one of those. It's one of those groups that just kind of gets overlooked a little bit, and they do amazing work in the community. They do amazing work.
Yeah, and like I said, the food pantry is something that we've been supporting for quite some time. We couldn't do it without everybody. Community Health Action started out of the Staten Island AIDS Task Force, and it started from something that was so structured to work to fight AIDS, and here we are today, where it's this different things. Much larger conglomerate under Brightpoint, and they do so many things. And so through Brightpoint, they're able to do so much more and give more services to our Staten Islanders. So I think that's awesome. We were getting ready to surprise. I had a surprise special guest, Joe DiModio, the sports editor at the Staten Island Advance. They're working from home, and we've been trying to get him on in the last few minutes, and I'm not sure. We're learning something else here. Maybe this isn't us. Maybe this is him. Maybe he doesn't know how to use technology.
Yeah, maybe it's Joe.
But we want to. We're going to get Joe in here at some point this week if we can't get him in today to talk a little bit about sports, what's happening at the Advance. And I mean, he's been around bowling for how long?
A very long time. Joe DiModio's written some great articles on so many different subjects.
Controversial.
Some controversial, and I think that he kind of didn't always take a side, but he always, I think his point was to spark conversation, and he definitely was successful in that.
And the great part is he's still doing it. He's still a friend of the bowling community. He's always writing stuff. He's been writing some pieces and pulling old photos of old bowling centers on Staten Island. So if you haven't seen those, go check out SI Live in the sports page. You can see the stuff that he's doing. The last one of them was on Victory Lane, the Columbian Lyceum, just highlighting these old centers that were here on Staten Island. If you think about it, I think at one time we had 10 or 11 commercial bowling centers. And then years ago, how many facilities had bowling lanes?
Yeah.
And here we are today. So he's been shining a light on that. He's always telling our stories, which is certainly important to us. I mean, and to you, good reminders of what's out there.
Yeah, and if you get a chance, I don't know if it should be available, maybe on Staten Island Live. He had a series from a long time ago. We Didn't Start the Fire, where he interviewed pro shop owners, and he really dove into what was a pivotal point in the bowling in bowling's history, about scoring and about equipment, and it was a really good series. So if you get a chance, he's written some amazing stuff.
We're not just blowing smoke. It's true.
No, it really is true.
We love Joe.
He didn't really always make people happy with some of his comments, but he was never disrespectful, and it was conversation, and he was honest about it at a time when, a lot of people weren't saying the things he was saying. He was, almost like from an outsider's point of view, asked questions that people wouldn't ask at that time. So he really kind of helped push us into the next generation, let's say.
I mean, that's what a sports writer does, right?
That's what a sports writer does.
That's cool. Well, Joe, if we can't get Joe in here, we're going to get him in here later this week. We've got an action-packed week. We've got some great guests that we've lined up.
Yes, we do.
We're not going to share them all. We do. So, yeah, as a follow-up from yesterday, we asked for some creativity at home and keeping yourself busy during this time. And so we have our first submission. It floated Facebook last night. A little creativity, Kathy and Joe Guarneri, but I think that we can do a little bit better here. But here, check out this video we got from Joe and Kathy. Bowling in his yard. I mean, he's got a full set of pins. That's pretty impressive.
Now, not everybody will have access to this equipment. And maybe not everybody wants to throw their bowling ball down a cement walkway. So it doesn't have to be a bowling ball, and it doesn't have to be bowling pins.
I love it, but he's keeping active.
But he's keeping active, and we like to see that. We like to see that bowling out there.
Notice two hands.
Yes, I did notice that.
Notice two hands, and I'm assuming if those are not bowling balls that he's using on a regular basis, I'm assuming that he's using some old equipment that he's looking to get rid of or send somewhere. So thank you, Kathy and Joe, for sending that in.
Thanks, Kathy.
Keep sending those in. We love it. I saw a comment that Yosef made. He goes, he only has 6 pins, not a full set at home. So Joe just texted me. He doesn't understand it's not working. So we're gonna work with him to figure it out. We might need an IT guy to go help him out, which should be pretty easy. Hey Naz, want to share our meme of the day?
Let's share it. There it is. Just in case you run out of toilet paper. Party City's got plenty, and it comes in multiple colors. And you could use it in a party situation also. Hopefully the newer stuff.
You might need some cream after that. But it comes in multiple colors. That's the cool part.
Yeah. I have nothing to say after that. That's all we got to say. That's our meme.
That's our meme of the day. We want you to share some. There's a lot of them out there, but we find some comic relief in the memes. Please share your memes. Share your creativity if you're bowling at home. It keeps us laughing, and we want to keep you laughing. There are some good ones. Some of them we won't show here.
Right. Some of them we really exactly.
They're totally really inappropriate.
We'd like to. We share them between each other, but.
So we'll talk a little bit about our guests for the rest of the week.
Yes, let's do that. So
tomorrow
we have Coach Del Warren, Vice President of the Kegel Training Center, is going to be joining us. So gear up your questions for Del. Del is a great guest. He deals with so many different areas of our sport. He's been coaching. He's at the Kegel Training Center. He's a coach for college. He's a wonderful physical coach. So if you have questions for him or anything you would like to ask Del, just tune in tomorrow. He'll be here. We're excited about him.
From the sidelines, so we don't have a studio audience, as we reminded you, but we have one in our audience today. We've got Ray, and Ray just shared that Del taught him, which is cool. So it's nice to have that. So he'll be here tomorrow. We'll talk to him. That's cool. He's great. And then we've got Greg Monker from WPIX 11 News. We're going to keep with the Staten Island Advance. And so Joe is going to pop in. We can get him in here. Pam Silvestri, if you're following her, she's talking about all the restaurants and things that are open for takeout and delivery, and just the food scene here on Staten Island during these times. And she's got some great insight. So tune in when we have her. And then Naz, Joe and Joe are going to return.
I can't tell you how excited we are. We are going to have to change our setup around a little bit to accommodate them and to remain compliant. But they are coming on Saturday, and they will be interviewing PBA and PWBA champion Kelly Kulik. So we're also excited about that.
So it's like a Pro Bowler Saturday.
Pro Bowler Saturday. You can't watch bowling on TV, but here it is. You can come here and watch us and ask questions. I mean, we've all watched these bowlers on TV. Maybe there's a question that you've been dying to ask them. So this is your opportunity to really kind of almost talk to them directly.
I mean, the fun part about bringing Joe and Joe in, they're super fans.
Yes.
So super fans asking questions and getting an opportunity to interview. I mean, Bill, they loved interviewing Bill. I mean, we lost some viewers somewhere along the lines in that interview.
Well, we have to remind Kelly that she should know her specs when she tunes in, because Joe Bruno will probably ask her how much thumb pitch she has. I
mean, she could also talk about, I'm sure she's home cooking, and that's something that she loves to cook and dance. So we're going to have to ask her what she's been cooking. Maybe we'll ask her
to dance.
Oh, she'll dance. There's no question about her line dancing.
So that's going to be a ratings bonanza on Saturday with Kelly Kulik.
I like ratings bonanza. And she's not far. She's in New Jersey. So she's not coming in, but she'll be on the phone with us. So that's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us again today. We apologize for our technical difficulties. We're getting there. We're going to figure this all out. It'll be nice. No.
Okay.
No. We've got a busy week.
Okay,
so
we got a busy week. We have some stuff coming up that we're sure you're going to love. We've got some guests that have said they'd love to be on. I mean, there are also people that saying they want to come on. So, hey, if there's somebody that you want to see us come on the show, whether they join us in the studio with proper social distancing, of course, and we check their temperature at the door, and they use Purell, and then they go wash their hands, and then they can join us here. So they'll get to join us here in the studio or on the phone. There's plenty of people out there. Yeah.
So if there's someone that you'd like for us to consider bringing on, or even you, shoot us a private message here on Facebook or in the comments. In the comments on YouTube here, we'll certainly see your messages, or just text one of us. Yeah. I mean, we're sitting here getting text messages. As we're sitting here.
We're always checking our phones. We're all getting contacted in so many different ways. So it's fun. I mean, we're having a good time doing this, and we feel like at least we're getting you out of your head for a little while and getting you a chance to see our bowling center. We're still here. We're all here, and we're anxiously waiting for when this is over.
Ray's struggling, not walking down the lanes and helping people as the day goes by.
I practice.
He's practicing his pacing and checking on. He told me somebody was on lane 5 before, and it was just Jimmy.
The mechanic. I was telling him how to hook it.
Doing what Ray does. Well, thank you for joining us once again here live from Rabs. And we certainly look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We really do miss your faces.
Yeah, we do. We do.
You're not going to miss ours.
No. Unfortunately, we're going to be right in your living room where you are. So.
Wherever you might be watching.
Wherever you're watching.
So share this link. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe so you can get more notifications on what we're doing. There's other video content coming your way. Thank you, Diane. And before we close, Naz,
this weekend, the sports community on Staten Island lost a very, very special person. Eddie Mantrick passed away while he was in Myrtle Beach, and whether you knew him from bowling or whether you knew him from golf or his work with the Have a Heart Society, he was a major player and a wonderful, wonderful man. I know his family must be heartbroken and his friends, and I know we are, and it's a great loss for us. We're going to miss him. We are going to miss Eddie. He was a good guy. And we just want to hope that you'll keep his family in your prayers.
Without doubt. Thanks, Naz.
I've known him since I was a kid. That's bad.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
He was a good guy. And fortunately, a lot of us got to see him at the last Bowling Hall of Fame dinner.
Yeah.
If we hadn't, some of us got to see him after that. But I mean, he's going to certainly be missed. So, thank you, and keep Eddie's family in your prayers. And so, with that, thank you again for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yep. Have a good day.